let me tell you something. All right? I am amazing. I beat Bloomberg on announcing the earthquake, the 7.6 earthquake, I beat Bloomberg by 2 hours. All right? One of the things I do at this job of your planetary defense commander is I spend a lot of time on Twitter. A, it gives me shit tons of weather information, and B, it is the fastest place to get good information like earthquakes, tsunamis. When the 7.0 earthquake hit in Alaska, although that was during the day, I think I had my video up within 10 minutes after it happened. During the crazier times where I feel we're all in super high alert, I put my schedule to where I'm awake from like 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. because I know everybody else goes to bed, especially during hurricane season. And in my timeline, I haven't seen any other major publication. I haven't seen the New York Times. I haven't seen, LA Times. I haven't seen ABC, NBC. Nobody else has announced it. Okay, this is a 7.6 earthquake, which has now caused a 2.4 tsunami, 2 to 4 foot tsunami in the Vanuatu Islands. And so look at all this shit. It's all fucking politics, man. It's all people jawboning about bullshit, dipshitty fucking politics. Like, politics is our entertainment now. It's our rock stars. It's like our everything. It is the ultimate distraction technique to hit everybody's hot buttons. And so, I know the people that, are like, you should get a real job, man. And if I'm going to be forced to, I will. But I'm just saying, like, I literally quit a job where I worked for some of the top lawyers in Texas doing audio-visual work. I worked on $1 million trials. I worked on NFL cases. I worked on giant oil cases. I worked on $30 million real estate cases. I mean, I got the people I got to meet. And everybody treated me like a king, but I gave that up because I saw the writing on the wall with the sun and the sun changing. And so for 5 years, even though it's pretty much destroyed my love life, I have no friends now that want to hang out with me. My family doesn't even really want to have anything to do with me because nobody wants to hear about earthquakes. Nobody wants to hear about volcanoes. Nobody wants to hear about tsunamis. Everybody wants to talk about politics or, sports or like whatever small talk shit that is going on. They don't want to hear about, oh, you know what? Science is telling you how much carbon there was in the atmosphere 800,000 years ago. I'm like, well, why would you trust science? They haven't been able to improve the carbon petroleum combustion engine, which was invented in 1850. They haven't cured cancer. Science hasn't even been able to replace the Hubble telescope in 28 years. What the fuck makes you trust, quote unquote, science? Because it tells you the universe is 15 billion years old? Who pays for science? The oil companies, man. Science and big oil worked hand in hand for 134 years until us in the media was like, oh, oil's bad. Do you think farmers pulled a quadrillion cubic square feet of petroleum out of the ocean and the world? No, it was science. And so now that we've had 7.2 earthquake in Alaska, And now the 7.6 earthquake in the Vanuatu Islands on the seam, you know, it's like and then I figured out the planetary orbital angular momentum. Like in the videos I've done before, I traced the New Madrid major earthquake back to all the gas giants being on the same side. I went 200 years ago when there were 7 volcanoes exploding, erupting in California. I tracked that back to all the planets in the gas giants, or just the gas giants being on the same side. When there's not a lot of balance in the solar system is when we get our earthquakes, volcanoes, and the wilder weather. And then a lot of times, this is why I call the hurricane out on October 10th, I believe, within, 10 days plus or minus, on the Eris alignment. I did it this year, and I'm doing it next year, 10 months ahead of time, saying we're going to get a Cat 4, Cat 5 hurricane for sure on the alignment of Eris when Earth is on this side. And I forgot what the date is. It's like in March or April. I think April 10th, when the Eris Earth alignment comes on this side. I guarantee you we're going to get either a major earthquake or a major, major, major storm. Because when they had the lowest pressure winter, quote unquote, storm, the lowest pressure storm on the East Coast came within 7 days of the Eris alignment. So I'm just saying, like, I gave up my fantastic job to tell people we have to unite as Team Earth to adapt to these Earth weather changes that are coming. In the last 2 years, we've been hit by 6 hurricanes. Or U.S. territories have been hit by 6 hurricanes. I don't know if you guys knew, but Uatu hit some islands by Hawaii that are owned by the United States. So, like, all my, like Neil Tyson deGrasse, Bill Nye, Richard Dawkins, like all your big science names, they come out to tell you the exact same copy and paste shit that anybody else will tell you. Like that's what I'm talking about. And like when I'm telling y'all that, like, yeah, dude, people they've been applying pressure, and especially over the last 2 months, increasingly, they've been messing with everything. That, like, people are like, hey, get a job. And like I said, I've worked my whole life, but it's like, can't you see, we've now had 2 7s. And if you look in the last 3 months, the earthquake activity is definitely higher than normal. And so, this is just me having my say. Let's think about having a YouTube channel. You can make a video about whatever you want. You can talk about whatever you want. I'm just saying that out of some people are kind enough to call us watchmen. Me, even Dabu, BP's weather stuff. I wish you would do more weather. I mean, you have so many. Everybody's talking about politics. So what is the point? It's like if something happens, and everybody talked about it. If I don't have an angle to add that doesn't make it different, I don't talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand the point of, if everybody's talking about politics all the time, what is there to add to the conversation? That is the honest to God's truth, is that social networking made everyone, where during the 90s, there was a big push to be an individual, don't conform, Rage Against the Machine, rock and roll was like the spirit of man. I don't know if you know, but they've been like literally trying to denut us for 15 years, where they're trying to turn men into women. And so the spirit of man, but I forgot my point. I'm just saying, like, I can't, of all the people out there who are like, They're handing out Nobel fucking prizes and shit. There's only a few of us. There's a small handful of people who are out there trying to tell you the shit that the media is literally trying to distract you from. And that if you watched politics from a neutral observer standpoint, you can see how fucking fake it all is. You can see how they are actors trying to convince you, trying to distract. They're like professional wrestlers who are out in the ring like, I hate you, I'm gonna hit you over the head with a chair. And then they're in the back cashing checks, drinking caviar, having champagne. You know? So this is just part of me venting my frustration, saying that, so, they took BP down. They're trying to take me out. Someone got a copy of my P.O. box key. I won't go into the details of that, but I'm just saying that, and I'm pretty much doing my best to try to force them to have it take me out if they want to shut me up. So I don't know. It's the good news is I honestly feel like a total American, all-American hero every single day. And that the self-confidence, I don't know anyone who has more natural self-confidence than I do, because I do a good job. I've done a good job. I do it straight from the heart, and I do it trying to save and care for every human being, every animal, and the planet itself. And I do it as a Norse Christian Jedi. And so I'm just, it's not that hard to figure out, man. Like, put two and two together. Like I've talked about, I got like 3,000 to 4,000 views per video when I had 2,000 subscribers. And now I'm not even averaging that at 53,000 subscribers. And honestly, I will put it this way. I honestly think I'm the best editor in the world. Like the videos, my edited videos, even the best ones, I only spend, 10, 20 hours on it. Like, can you imagine what a video I could do if I spent 100 hours on it or 200 hours on it? Like, and I would say my top 10 videos in the last 2 years, I am one of the best filmmakers on the planet. Do you really think that my numbers, do you really think that should only be at 53,000 subscribers? I mean, when I go out, like, I would guess, 1 in 20 people I meet have heard of Dutch or SO or me or Dabu or BP. Like, we're big names out there. People know it. Like, when I talk about when I go out, I'm always surprised at how many people are like, oh, you're THORnews. I'm like, wow. It's weird. A lot of, so I'm just like, it's for the people that understand. I know that, and I appreciate it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just crazy that, I don't know. Like, I never imagined that I would have done this amazing, this great of a job, this consistently, again and again and again and again. Like, I was literally the only human being on planet Earth before the last 2 hurricane seasons to say, hey, people, we're going to get hit by 2 hurricanes. We got to get ready. And guess what? We got hit by 2 hurricanes or more. 6 total. And like, all the people who win fucking Nobel Prizes, they're like, we found that a muon particle has testicles. And like, oh, give that motherfucker a Nobel Prize with a $300,000 cash reward. There's like, some people got a Nobel Prize for reducing rapes during war. And I was like, what does that even mean? Like, I don't, it's I don't know. It's all clear. The more, it's just, or I don't know, I'm venting. And, sometimes I feel the energy in the fact that we just had a 7.6 earthquake, and I am fucking concerned about California and the West Coast. Technically, I'm concerned about everybody on any coast anywhere. Because what is it going to take? Is it going to take like a giant chunk of like footage of us losing half of California into the ocean before people are like, holy shit, maybe I shouldn't be arguing about some bullshit fucking collusion case? I don't know, I think it took 2 weeks to confirm Roberts. Remember Justice Roberts? And the thing that most people don't realize, that Democrats knew that Kavanaugh was going to get confirmed. There's no way they could stop him. He was just going to get confirmed. So they stretched it out for 5 straight weeks. They had everybody angry and focused on the fucking Kavanaugh trial when it didn't make a fucking hill of beans difference. Do you hear me? Like, they couldn't stop him, but they drew it out. They used everybody's focus, attention, and energy on something that literally had no, like, it did nothing. They wasted 5 weeks and endless hours of everyone's time. And, for the people who support, are like, I'm super pro-Trump, or I'm super pro-Democrat. Well, how much shit do you think is going to fucking happen between now and the next election? How many big programs do you see where they're like, oh, yeah, in case of major disasters? I mean, that's why when I point out, look at how your government treated Puerto Rico when they got destroyed, decimated by Hurricane Maria. The government came out and was like, hey, it's y'all's fault. You guys have a lot of debt, which was the ballsiest thing for a nation 21 trillion in debt to say. When California had the deadliest wildfires in the history of modern history, the government came out and said, hey, it's your fault for forest management. Like, the government is $21 trillion in debt. Everybody pays their taxes, and then the government still has to borrow $1.5 trillion from all other countries around the world. Our government has to borrow money every year from Russia. Our government has to borrow money every year from Saudi Arabia. Our government has to borrow money every single year from China just to pay its bills. And everybody's so focused on the government like it's going to solve any problems. It's almost like, if you want to get rid of crime, well, how do we get rid of crime? I don't know. How about we turn it over to criminals? Like, we'll say, hey, criminals, here's a lot of money, here's a lot of guns. Go take care of criminals. Get rid of criminals. That's what we're doing. Like, hey, politicians, we're tired of politicians, all the mistakes politicians. Hey, don't worry about it. Politicians will take care of it. Another thing, people get pissed off or upset when I ask for contributions and donations to continue to do what I do. And now that don't bother me at all because I'm worth it and I do a great job. The thing is, none of those fucking people give a shit when politicians beg day and night for money and campaign contributions, and then they lose. So Johnny's stick in the fucking mud, raises $2.5 billion to run for office, and then loses, and nobody gives a shit. They're like, oh, whatever. What did he fucking add to anything? Nothing. I literally have had several people over the last 2 years specifically say, thank you. You saved my life from making your videos. And how many people have I made laugh? Like how many laughs do you think I have generated in my 6 years of THORnews? I would guess 1 million. How much is that worth? Man, like Elon Musk was like, I work so hard. Sometimes I sleep on the couch at work. Well, look, motherfucker, I'm Planetary Defense Commander, and I have slept on a couch almost every single day of 2018. I have a mattress, but it's propped up against the wall. I don't want to talk about that story because it's what's your face, and her face was beautiful. Anyway, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, I'm just saying. And don't get me wrong, that's why like I super appreciate more than you can understand and more than I can convey the people who have donated, anyone along the way, the people who have continued to allow me to do this. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm about to cry. But I'm not gonna. Because, you know, except for the small handful of us who have done it, I can't think of anyone who's put out better information more consistently. And it's information that you won't get many other places elsewhere. I mean, how many serious people who are like, I'm into politics? They got hundreds of thousands, millions of subscribers, followers, make good money. Doing what? Saying the same old political fucking garbage that everybody else is saying? You know? And it's like on YouTube, like how many people on YouTube have 1 million subscribers and they're like, hey, I'm eating the new Taco Bell gordita. You know, like, I don't even know. That's why, I don't know, it drives me crazy when people are like, I can't believe it. He's asked for contributions and donations. I don't know. Like Dutch has done a fucking hell of a job. SO has done a hell of a job. But they've kept us in a lockbox. And so, I mean, I don't know. They've just, I mean, I'm okay with it. I mean, I'm not okay with it, but I'm saying I'm still a cool, happy person. And, you know, as I said, you guys have kept me at this. And I mean, I can't, you know how many times I've gone out to do fun stuff this year? I don't know, twice? 3 times? I don't even really leave my apartment anymore. The cigarettes is like the, if you want to say, oh, what is he, that's the funnest thing I do is I smoke cigarettes. I'm pretty much hyper-focused on this shit all the time. For you, and for even the people who are hacking me, stealing from me, calling me names, I'm still out there trying to protect you and save you, buddy. And that is why I get to feel like a superhero all the time. And I think that's a lot of times that's why people get mad. They're like, that dude should not have so much gravitas because he's broke and his car's old and he's chubby, you know. I don't know. I had to get that off my chest. Oh, another thing, especially during the month of December, don't be surprised if I mention that I exist and work off contributions and donations in every video in December. And it's always, you know, it's to me when people are like, how dare you ask for money? Or I don't like you asking for money or whatever. It's like, man, you ain't got to be here. And, you know, it's like, so you continue to watch my videos, but you're like, hey, I don't like the way you do this. Well, then why do you pay any attention to me? You know what? I can't even imagine what it's like to be like to focus on something I really don't like. Like if there's some channel that I don't agree with their information and shit, I'm not going to spend any time focusing on or worrying about it. There are too many things to worry about, you know? It's like when all the flat earthers are like, the earth is flat, bitch. You know? It's like, dude, literally almost 95% of every other human being on the planet believes the planet's round. So if you're going to spend all your time trying to convince everybody that they are wrong, why are you focusing on me? Everybody thinks everything is round, you know? And what good does it do? Like I said, I'm a Norse Christian Jedi. You think how much time do I spend trying to convert everybody over to my belief? I don't. My whole strategy is always like, well, I'm going to try and be as cool as I can, and maybe one day you might be like, hey, Thor, how did you get so cool? And look at that planetary alignment, dude. That is so badass. I mean, that is so cool. You know, and I don't know, the universe is magic. It's like if you go look out in the sky, Sirius is kicking. Yeah, I guess I'm a little lonely. It is getting to be Christmas season. Especially because everything's so damn doomy. You know? And it's simple. Even Einstein said you should be able to, if your theory is correct, you should be able to explain it simply. And it's kind of like, well, planetary orbital momentum. If they're like race cars going around, when all of the race cars are in the same spot, there's more weight. Well, I guess it's not a good analogy. I'm saying that, like having all the planets, especially the heavy ones, the ones with the most mass, bunched up and not distributed with a lot of evenness. I can't talk now. It's crazy. That affects everything. I don't know. I've been almost rambling. That's cool though. Look at that. I mean, and you know, like last month when, I don't know if you heard, but yeah, so I think they spoofed my PayPal because I didn't get any donations for like 5 days when I was asking. And honestly, the majority of the time when I ask, I get some. And some dude said, yeah, we're punishing you because you're not staying in your lane. And I was like, look, dipshit, I'm your planetary defense commander. The solar system is my lane. There you go, in a half hour. No cigarette. Smoke them if you got them. Hey, if you stuck with me this far, that means you like me. And I like you too. That's dang cool. You're dang cool. So, if I die tomorrow or 30 years from now, I get to go to God and be like, I loved you. I loved everybody. I loved all the animals. And I gave it my all. And I got a lot of confidence that good things are coming for me now and after I die. So what more could I ask for? Because you know what? I don't think heaven is like some magic hotel where you just go there and then everything is just great forever. I actually believe in more of a like life, like a reincarnation where life continues to live. And that's how I got so cool, is because I was cool in the life before me. And so I continued to be cool So I carry my cool energy on like a snowball. I don't know, maybe it is like people think, where you become like a particle on the sun and you're just super happy to be a particle on the sun forever and you never change. Nothing ever changes. I don't know, it just doesn't make so much sense to me. Anyway, I love you. And this is a very special message for 1 to 7 women out there. I wish I was cuddling with you right now. Man, I have so much kinetic energy built into my hands and my lips. The next girl I make out with, she's going to get a treat. All right, now I'm talking crazy. Anyway, I hope you have a good day, good night. And yeah, I don't know. And if you're poor, or to change my miss meal, skip a, I'm not ever asking anybody to risk anything for me. Yeah, if you got extra and you can kick some cash my way, I'll put my PayPal link in. I don't even know. What would it be like if I had a budget? Like if I had a PewDiePie budget. Imagine what I could do. Imagine if I got so good the media couldn't totally ignore me. I mean, think. Just even me, like the big five or whatever. How many times, even an SO, who's like the most trying to be sciencey and trying to be all legitimate of us all, how many articles have you ever seen anyone write on him? None. There's like a, there's a giant cage where no one is ever allowed to like verify or be like, hey, you know what? These guys are good or decent or above average. Never happens. You know what? Like every single volcano or earthquake scientist that I got blocked by on Twitter was like, suspicious observers and Dutch students are pseudoscientists. I'm like, nickel. I've seen them predict earthquakes and then have those earthquakes hit again and again and again and again. I've never seen any of y'all do that. Never. Not once. Not any of y'all pros. But yeah, I don't know. From my vantage point, it's pretty clear to me. I still think there's hope, but there's free will, so humans could definitely still fuck it up. But I have faith in you. Anyway, thanks for sticking around. And I'll probably talk to you guys in the near future. Unless snipers shoot me through the roof or something. But I don't know. I'm starting to think I got a real good protective system all around me. Both spiritually and physically. Like when I always talk about the 2 F-35s follow me around, I ain't joking, man. I ain't joking at all. Here's another thing. Same cigarette. I just went out because I was too busy talking. I'll usually give him the double peace sign, Venus Viking. I'll give him the I love you sign, which is the thumb, and then the like bullhorn fingers up. And if you watch, I'll watch a plane or a skycraft fly by. I give them the sign, and then they will change their lights. I know that made it sound unbelievable, but remember, I'm Star-Lord New Thor 7, although technically my first name is the letter T. Letter T. As in Thor. As in truth. As in trust. As in totally awesome. Dang. Did I mention that I could use a really good hug? Like for a 3-day hug. Okay. Now I'm going. But I'll be back. Okay, hit the button.